Okay, so I decided we will wait a little bit on the extra stories. I did see what it was about, which you'll see later, but I'm like, I want to do all the side stuff first, so we're gonna do that. I'm gonna pick up job licenses, which well, maybe not merchants, because merchants is money, and I don't have all that going on now. So I'll be looking for quests that I find, and of course popping in and letting you see that. There's the fights. Yeah, so I'll pop in as I am working. Stay tuned. Alright, so we're in Winterbloom. I noticed there's a quest marker in the house where the sick lady was. With, what's her name? It's like Ruby and Lily or something. I must speak to Lady Melia. Melia, sorry. I played Minecraft for all of like 2 seconds and my buttons are just wrong. A butler who has assumed guardianship over Melia. She tries her best to fill the void Rosa left, balancing the need to be both doting and strict with the young lord. However, when she hears Melia's tearful voice from the herb garden at night, she knows she will never be able to replace Rosa. Handkerchief and wheat bread. I am sorry about stealing from you. Must speak to Lady Melia. Melia. Oh. You're just here now, eh? Lightning amulet. Dazzling artwork. Greg. That's right. I was like, what was his name? The eldest son of a poor noble family with a long history. He once tried to seize control of Winterbloom in his desire to improve the little town, but after his Aunt Rosa's passing, he focuses on bettering himself so that he can help out more. Unfortunately, his laziness has impeded all progress. Greg, no, come on.
Very helpful.
I was rooting for you, man. I wonder if we'll have if we'll have goulash for dinner tonight. I just gotta get this first. Young ruler of Winterbloom, who took up the mantle at a tender 12 years of age. Although she faces many hardships, she manages to fulfill her duties with the support of Greg, Lily, and the townspeople. She spends her evenings in the herb garden, telling her late mother about the joys and pleasures of her life. Brooch of Joy. Receive additional EXP and JP. That is a Brooch of Joy! Oh. I just now remember that that's her mother's brooch.
I'll take that.
Oops. Melia, we're gonna put it to good use. Don't you worry. Don't you worry, child. Not that you were worried, but, I gave it to Temenos because why not?
There. I finished my letter to the nobles.
Stupid nobles.
Next, I need to review all these reports before the assembly meets. Greg, could you lend me a hand?
No way. I can't wrap my head around all these complicated forms.
I'm gonna leave it to the 12-year-old.
Oh dear. I forgot to water the herb garden today. Greg, could I ask you to handle it?
No way. I couldn't wrap my head around watering.
Last time I got near a plant, it withered at the sight of me.
Drat, if only we had a gardener.
Greg.
Ah! I didn't see you there. Forgive me for being so absent-minded. I have 1,001 things to see to.
Oh, being in charge is a lot of work. If it were me, I don't think I could have handled all of this.
Bad news, Lady Melia. There was another burglary in town.
I'll beat him up, don't worry.
The work of the snow hares, no doubt.
Dastardly rabbits.
My sources tell me they continue to commit many heinous deeds under the leadership of their boss, Pluck.
I hesitate to ask this of you, but...
Could you rough him up?
would you be so kind as to investigate the snow hares for me?
Absolutely. I will arrest everyone for you, Melia. Don't you worry. I hesitate to ask this of you, but yep. You can probably find them in the tavern in the Thieves' Quarter. It's on the north side of town. It shall be done. Don't you worry. I don't actually know if I'm equipped for this. Hang on. Alright, I'm all ready. We're gonna go kick some butt. I hope. I don't think they would be out of my range. Like 50 up to 70. Oh, no, they would be around at nighttime. I thought it was daytime when I was doing it. My bad.
Here you are, boss. Today's haul.
Pathetic. This town is poor pickings.
Want us to start selling off girls? Like the head hair?
We haven't fallen that low. I'd rather die than follow that piece of trash's example. Where did I go wrong?
Boss.
Oh, right. Listen up, gang. I've got a brilliant idea. That Malia girl's in charge around these parts now, right? Well, she's still just a naive little brat. So we trick her. Get her to hire us on as servants at her big, fancy manor. That house has got to be full of treasure. Once we've got free run of the place, we rob it.
But how we gonna fool her, boss?
I wrote her a little letter. Oh, boo-hoo, we're so sorry for what we've done, and all that drivel.
Brilliant, boss.
Now, we just gotta deliver it.
I could take it to her. Cannot entreat this person. You wouldn't give things to me? Hey, I guess actually, that would just be taking information. That's fine.
Time for some questions.
Okay, I'll be doing this. A thief who admires Pluck. He was about to be sold to another country as a slave when Pluck passed by and purchased him for asking price. She told him to live his life wherever and however he wanted, so he decided to go with her. He tries his best to make her happy. A thief who respects Pluck. He once worked on a corrupt merchant ship and tried to abscond with the money, but got caught. He was about to be punished when Pluck rescued him, and they've been working together ever since. He wishes for her to wash her hands of the thieving business and find true happiness from the bottom of his heart. Heh, a letter's a great idea. You're a real romanticist, boss. Romanticist? You're a boss genius. You're a genius, boss. I wish I had your smarts. Probably this one first. Letter from the Snow Hares. Ah. Yeah.
Time for some questioning.
We'll be fine. A thief who pretended to be something she wasn't for a long time. Though she dreamed of being a florist, she was sold to a brothel to pay off debts, where she lost an eye for lying to save her closest companion. She then stooped to banditry in a bid to choose her own path, so that she would no longer be prey to the whims of fate. Okay, so probably don't want to steal that yet. Now then, how do we get this letter to that little brat? A letter written by Pluck of the Snow Hares. The crude handwriting makes it somewhat difficult to read. You're not one asking a thief for a handout.
I'll take good care of this.
You're not one giving a letter as a handout, but yeah, okay. Malia! Malia, I have news! News, Malia. Words. Did you? I'm so sorry for the trouble, but would you mind helping Lady Malia? Oh. Sorry, I stole your brooch. Here's the thing. I hesitate to ask it. Yes.
A letter from the Snow Hares? Give it here, please.
Hand it to me.
Lady Malia, we've seen the error of our ways. We promise we'll never stain our hands with villainous deeds again. We're still hares, but pure as snow now.
Bah! Ha ha ha.
Please allow us to prove our good intentions. We beg you for honorable employment at your manor. Very sincerely, the Snow Hares.
Very sincerely.
Huh. They've reformed. Isn't that nice?
No.
Wait, they haven't? You say they're trying to trick Malia?
Yeah, I knew that. I was just testing you.
Oh, idea! Let's pretend to be tricked, then clap chains on them.
The Snow Hares are cunning rogues. I doubt it will be that simple.
The town will be much safer if we could apprehend the Snow Hares. But will that truly bring happiness to all the citizens of our town? Mother.
Oh, no, okay.
Long time no see, lady.
I read your letter. You say you have washed your hands of crime?
Yeah, sure we have.
Yet, in truth, you're simply trying to deceive me for some wicked scheme.
She's on to us, boss! What do we do?
Fine. You got us. We'll just have to resort to force.
I considered feigning ignorance of your schemes and having you arrested. However, that will solve nothing. Instead, I wish to help you, to see to your well-being. Because criminals or not, you are citizens of my town too.
Really? You consider us one of your own?
You're currently living here, right?
Yes. However, I will not tolerate thievery. You must return everything you've stolen to its rightful owner. If you do that, I promise I will find you a new occupation.
Wait, you mean it?
A new occupation? You want us to change your diapers for you?
Come with me.
Florist, gardener, I see. Yep, all works out, doesn't it?
Wowee.
Incredible. It's like paradise.
I'm glad you like it. This is my herb garden. I would like to hire all of you as gardeners to maintain it. I'll teach you how, of course. No need to worry about any lack of botanical knowledge.
Who knew I'd go from stealing leaves to watering them? When I was a girl, I loved plants and flowers. I used to water the little nameless blossoms I found on the roadside. Seeing them struggling so hard just to survive, well, it struck a chord in me. I thought to myself, I need to be like them. I can't give up.
Boss.
Where'd I dredge that memory up from, huh?
It's a lovely story.
Hey, you alright? You nearly fainted there.
I'm sorry. The moment I relaxed, my strength drained from me.
You're serious, aren't you? About helping us, I mean. I've changed my mind about you. You've got the makings of a damned good leader.
Miss Pluck?
We'll give back everything we stole. In return, will you hire us on as gardeners? Our hands are already dirty, so a little mud won't bother us.
Let us be your gardeners, your ladyship.
Of course. I'd be glad to.
It's so cheesy. I love it. Malia's amulet, 9,000 leaves. Malia's next chapter. What does it do? Cover SP and HP after performing an action. Sweet, because I just took something off of Agni. Oh, hang on. That I would like that to be over there. There we go. Yeah, now it's just a both thing. There it is. I was like, where'd it go? Awesome. I didn't need to fight at all. Well, kind of, but not like a battle. Alright, I will keep checking out for things. Alright, we're gonna try and figure out Margello and, Tiffany's deal here. I don't know if she's like, I need to know what he's like word of the butler, or just by bringing Margello to her. Tiffany! Oh, my mom, Papa, could they do this to me? Never met before. Husband to me. Blah, blah, blah. Let's just introduce her. It'll be fine. You're Tiffany, yes? It's a pleasure to meet you. I am Margello. Margello, what are you doing here? I came to discern your true feelings. Marriage is something that ought to be discussed by the couple in question, no? Then I'll be frank. I don't want to marry you. After all, I don't know the first thing about you. And if I'm going to spend the rest of my life with someone, I want them to be someone of my own choosing. I appreciate your honesty. To be equally frank, I feel the same way. You're a candid and wise woman, Tiffany, and I am certain you will find someone truly worthy of your devotion. And you as well, Margello. Not gonna be like, hey, what if we actually tried to get to know each other? Feel much better now that we've spoken to each other. Thank you for bringing him here. Did I do bad? Did I do bad? I don't know if I did bad. 15,000 mental belt. So ends the tale of a forced hand. Margello seems like an earnest and considerate man. I hope we can speak at length the next time we meet. Okay, I don't know if it was like, oh, you've ruined the marriage. Or if it was just like a, well, I don't want to marry you, but I know both of us have no choice in this matter. And he's like, yeah, basically. A luxury textile merchant patronized by Timber Rain's royal line, she made great sacrifices to build the family business to this point. It has always been handed down from mother to daughter, but she is unsure if she wants her young granddaughter to bear the burden when her time comes.
Thank you.
Hidden item. Alright, I'm gonna be moving about in this town, seeing what's up. And I will probably get Hikari at some point and challenge the guy in the bottom left. Alright. Okay, I was gonna swap to Hikari, but it looks like that Throne can just smack him. That's the wrong button, but she can still smack him.
Good night.
So we can finally see what's behind the door. It's like nothing. all the way over here. Just all the way back here. What is it? What is in the treasure chest? Rusty pull. Oh, 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 oh. That's a thing. Gimme. Is it Crackridge? I think it's Crackridge. I am so messed up on buttons. I apologize. If it's not here, well then, you know, I'll see you in Gravel. Okay, here we go. I got another one. I got another one for you. Take it. Brought another rusty thing for me to look at. Here. Give it here, let me see. There's no room for doubt. This too is one of the divine weapons of the arms masters. Give it to me. Give me some time, I'll reforge it for you, blacksmith's honor. I was wondering when we were gonna find another one of these. Take a gander at this. I derusted and reforged this divine weapon. Warlord's Spear. Job skill, Giant Swing. Learning this skill, you unlocked another skill. If you find anything that you think might be a weapon, bring it to me. Well, I gotta equip it. Let's go. Recover BP when defeating an enemy. Ooh. The attack is not as good as Lost Tribe Spear, unfortunately, but we got it. Alright, we're here in Crackridge. There's this little girl that if you talk to her, she just runs away, so I'm curious what that's gonna do. I will follow her, and we will see if there's anything. Obviously, you won't see this if there's nothing. If it has anything to do with like the houses over yonder. Little girl, what the heck? What's going on? Oh, okay. Journal fragment 1. Whoa, 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 whoa. I did it, diary. I got hired as a scrivener, and for the Delsta Times, too. All the world's information flows through a newspaper, a river of facts alongside a paper water wheel, an endless procession of scoop, scoop, scoop. As a journalist, I'll dash about the world investigating, uncovering, and breaking news. What better way for me to carry out my mission? I've thought about this a lot, and everyone has some fact they're hiding, vast sums of knowledge locked in noggins the world over. But how to crack open these repositories and acquire those tasty secrets within? That's the rub, of course. As I am now, I doubt that I have the dexterity to pick any of those cranial locks. I was raised in isolation, always out of the loop, hiding quietly on the outskirts of society. There's a positive way to spin that, though. I spent all that time that I wasn't talking to people, observing them. Here's what I learned. People let their guard down around cute little animals. A scowling guard captain will play cuddly coo with an adorable puppy, and soon confess all his gripes to the precious thing. And so I will become that. I will become the puppy. I'll wag my little doggy tail, act the part of the friendly little non-threatening furball, and slide right into people's confidences. My brother may be the soaring eagle with his bird's eye view, but I'll be a sharp-eyed hound, keeping my nose to the ground and sniffing out every last detail I can find. Ori? Are you Ori what? Ori what? Ori what? So Ori is a part of this tribe too? Journal fragment 2. My oldest memory is crimson, a spray of bright red droplets and a harrowing scream, a crowd fleeing in all directions, and enemy soldiers mercilessly cutting down innocents. Some of them even laughed as they did it. Amidst this, I was a stone. Still in my tender years, I neither cried nor wept nor cowered, but merely watched the chaos unfold. Being raised in a war-torn land does things to an impressionable mind, and I suppose something had already broken inside me. I would have died that day, cut down like the rest, were it not for my brother. His cunning carved a path for us out of that hellish place, so not necessarily here. My brother's brilliant, so much so that the enemy king spared him if he would serve. Yet despite his genius, despite how shrewd the plans he proposed were in their attempts to avoid bloodshed, the blood always flowed. Humans steal, they kill, they take and they take and they take. Lives, possessions, land. It's a state of our nature, a simple fact of our existence. My brother and I have seen so much together, and we both reached the same conclusion. The world doesn't deserve to see another dawn. The life of man is nasty, brutish, and ugly. Why not make it short? So, there was the earlier thing, the earlier journal, where the other guy was like, I'll take in this girl as my sister. We're not related by blood, I think is what it was saying. And he's like, life is awful, doesn't deserve to see a dawn. So Ori and I think the other person's name started with an O as well. Journal Fragment 3. I need her on our side, I need you to convince her that's a good idea. My brother's face was flushed as he handed me the letter addressed to Raime. Perhaps he'd been in his cups. I didn't need to ask him why he would be celebrating. The fundraising in Montwise was going swimmingly. On my way home, I spotted Hikari. He's the key to everything in Ku, and if our machinations go according to plan, my brother will get what he's after. I doubt Hikari has a clue who I am. Another tactic proposed by Brother Dearest. No prior familiarity with me will help move things along down the line. But though Hikari doesn't know anything about me, I certainly know a lot about him. Hikari has another side to him, a second personality that my brother says was born from his family's cursed lineage. Somewhere in the past, Clan Ku's blood mingled with that of the infamous Archmage Darkest. Oh. Sparking a history of war and sacrifice, a more odious bloodline, I do not know. As I passed Hikari on the street, for a moment I felt as if our eyes met. His gaze was steady and true, as if it was when he was a boy. Just as it was when he was a boy. How had that bright spark in his eyes not dimmed over time? He'd seen the same horrors I had, been through the same terrible war. What is going on here? 4. This is bad. Hikari was captured before I had a chance to deliver my brother's letter to Raime. If Hikari is killed, it'll ruin everything, and we'll have to start over from scratch. Clan May calls the Fortress of Stormhail its home. Coldest place in Celestia, and I hate it. Time is of the essence, yet this frigid blizzard is battering about me like a leaf in the wind. If only I could take 2 steps back. If I could take 2 steps without being blown 3 back. By the time I finally reached Stormhail, Hikari had already been released. I can only assume he managed to sway Raime on his own. I handed my overdue missive to one of Raime's retainers and quickly put that chilly place behind me. What's going on? Journal Fragment 5. Oswald is sentenced to life imprisonment. It took me a moment to process the judge's verdict. I blinked, doubting my ears. What was going on here? He was supposed to be executed, wasn't he? I ran as fast as I could to find Harvey. I should have known. That swine had stuffed leaves into the judge's pockets to bribe him into that decision. Why? I want him to see the power of my perfected magic. That's his reason. The blighted fool. Pride. Worthless pride. We need the Book of Demons complete. What if Oswald somehow finds a way to interfere? When I gave my report to my brother, he simply said, just watch the spectacle unfold. Apparently, my brother had already taken Harvey's massive ego into account when he made his contract with the man. If that's the case, then I suppose this isn't a problem after all. Regardless, I should hurry and gather what information I can about Frigid Isle. What? Ori! Was I expecting journals somewhere in the game? Yeah, but not from Ori. That's 7. Poop. Oh well, they're not super linked up, but it's fine. Harvey has left for Dusk's ruined shrine. The remains of Archmage Darkest will provide the final piece that Harvey needs. The Book of Demons will soon be complete. I found a nice, cozy place to conceal myself, and sure enough, Oswald showed up. Just as predicted, the two fought it out, and I was able to retrieve the Book of Demons in the wake of their battle. There is one surprise, however. Harvey escaped alive. What was that bright flash of magic? A glimpse of a force that may dwarf even that of the Book of Demons? That girl. Does she have some special power within her? You leave her alone, please, and thank you. Journal Fragment 6. I concealed myself among the chattering students and slipped into Harvey's lecture. The Book of Demons is nearly complete, so he was in a jovial mood. When I saw my chance, I gave Harvey the nude. Oswald had tried to escape Frigid Isle and died in the attempt. I thought the news would throw his high spirits off a cliff, but instead he just started giggling. It was creepy. When he finally settled down, he merely said, "I need to prepare for my guest's arrival," and vanished back into his laboratory, humming cheerfully all the while. It's like he thinks Oswald is alive. Is Oswald alive? It can't be, and yet, if so, then he will come here to find Harvey and seek his vengeance. Wait, this could be perfect. I doubt Harvey will honor our agreement and hand over the Book of Demons without a fuss. If I can set those two against each other, it might create the perfect opportunity to slip in and swipe the book. I wonder if my brother has predicted this, too. 8. Oswald entrusted the girl Elena to his assistant before setting off on a journey. Like Alpate's, the blood of the Lumina family runs in Elena's veins. I'll need to continue monitoring her to watch for suspicious signs. Day after day, Elena sits at her desk and pours herself into her studies. A diligent girl, I suppose, but I am curious as to why her brow sometimes wrinkles and she cradles her head in her hands. Still, her eyes are bright and her gaze seemingly set on some happy goal far off in the distance. A marked difference from when I saw her in Harvey's company. There was only worry and fear in her eyes then. My heart nearly leapt out of my throat when I heard the assistant's voice suddenly ring out behind me. "Can I help you, miss?" I immediately turned and tried to distract and dissemble with my tried-and-true cover story. "Can I interest you in a newspaper subscription?" She smiled then, eyes warm, but I sensed a keen suspicion burning deep within those friendly eyes. I will not underestimate her again. No one else has ever noticed me when I didn't want to be found. I'll need to abandon my surveillance. Too risky. Besides, I've seen nothing suspect in all the time I've watched Elena. Might as well move on to more important matters. Journal Fragment 9. Well, here I am in Candlebrine. Word is I can find someone who has the lost pages of the Book of Nights original manuscript. Caldina, captain of the Sacred Guard, seems to be moving as Arcanet predicted and assembling these pages. Arcanet. I don't think I've met anyone yet. There's a potential problem, however. A nosy inquisitor named Temenos seems to have caught wind of all this. Arcanet has her eye on him, but I can only pray he doesn't make any problems for us. I'll need to be careful not to draw his attention, too. The Book of Night is close to being fully restored. Once it is, I'll need to move quickly to retrieve it and fulfill my mission. Allying myself with Arcanet was merely the easiest means to that end. My brother did tell me to be wary of her, however. He was quite forceful about it. I wonder why. There's a lot of reading. 10. Caldina, captain of the Sacred Guard, is driven by a lust for vengeance. To achieve that end, she seeks to make the power of Shadow her own. And with the restored Book of Night in hand, she set out for the Twilight Shrine. Her naive dream of avenging her people will never become reality. Why, you ask, dear diary? Because the right Arcanet taught her is purposely flawed. So there I was, hiding in the shadows of the Twilight Shrine and waiting for the perfect opportunity. Lo and behold, Caldina's right went awry, and she transformed into the most hideous form. No one told me I'd have to deal with some horrible monster. This is above my pay grade. Luckily, I had no need to fear. That Temenos showed up and handled the Caldina problem for me. I suppose Arcanet was behind his well-timed arrival. What a puppet master. Bravo. I finally understand why my brother warned me to keep an eye on her. I slipped down to the ritual site after Temenos made his exit and retrieved the Book of Night. All that's left is to combine it with the Book of Demons, and we'll be able to complete the Dark Blood Grimoire. It's not good. 11. Here I am, grand old Timberain, just in time for the coronation ceremony. Word on the street is that an apothecary named Trousseau is going to rain on the parade with a storm infused with shadow energy. His goal, and I quote, is to extend a hand to save all in need. What a nice notion. Let's rewind the clock. It was 1 year ago that Trousseau lost hope in the future and started down this path. He was out gathering medicinal herbs when he stumbled into Lost Seed. Oh no. There, he met Claude, who gave him the Book of Night. Claude was disappointed with the encounter, it seems. He had swayed Trousseau to his side, but couldn't persuade an apothecary in the man's company. With a regretful sigh, "Oh, that's why Casti knew. She's like, I've been here." With a regretful sigh, he told me that this other apothecary's eyes were filled with a motherly strength, deep wells of kindness that belied a sense of fierce determination. What was her name again? Ah, yes, Casti. She stopped Trousseau, saw the people of Timberain to safety, and even dealt with the poison rain. As if that wasn't enough, she also managed to mix up medicine that could combat the shadow on the spot. Claude's intuition was right. Casti is someone to keep an eye on. My brother will need to know that we have another dangerous potential wrench in our plans. Wrench, you know, something. 12. I met a merchant today in Clockbank, an honest fellow with laughing eyes named Particio. He's boasted that he'll rustle up 80 billion leaves and buy the rights to the steam engine from its current owner, Mr. Rock. Then he'll give the technology away to everyone. When pressed on why, he said, things like this should be shared with the whole world. Particio confuses me. If I can borrow that ruthless Rock's words, it is human nature to take from others and give unto oneself. Despite his noble declarations, I'm sure Particio will prove himself no different from the other slime. Greed and self-interest will win out in the end. They always do. Still, I'm vaguely curious as to how his story will play out. I'll follow this Particio, though I'll keep my expectations low. Placing your faith in others only gets you betrayed in the end. 13. My brother made a deal with Harvey. Craft the Book of Demons, an evil tome said to be imbued with the magic of Darkest himself. Why, you ask? Well, dear diary, because we need it to restore the lost Dark Blood Grimoire. The rub here is that neither my brilliant brother nor even Claude knows how to make this tome, thus the need for Harvey. The one thing my brother does know is that the remains of Darkest are a key component. When I shared that vital tidbit, Harvey smiled. That's all I needed. It sounds like he was already most of the way there. He's a valuable asset, so we'll do everything we can to assist him. Harvey has an unhealthy obsession with a scholar named Oswald. No, let's call it what it is. A severe inferiority complex. Wow, that is hard to say. Inferiority. Harvey told me he'd gladly give up the Dawn if it meant he could best the man. We let Harvey read the Book of Night in order to pull him into our intrigues, but honestly, I think it wasn't necessary. That bottomless well of envy in his gut, properly manipulated, would likely have been motivation enough. Besides, I don't trust him. No normal person can fathom that twisted mind of his. 14. Particio's gone and done it. He has gone and done it. He's humbled Rock and actually wrested the rights to the steam engine from that greedy tycoon. Still, that's nothing compared to what he did next. He actually gave it away, just as he said he would. Things like this should be shared with the whole world. He's lived up to that grandiose statement and then some. The heat of his passion even melted Rock's icy heart, and I don't think the desert sun was hot enough to do that. So, taking a step back, what Particio did is impossible, unimaginable, inconceivable. I've observed countless people in my time, and to date, every one of them is motivated to varying degrees of self-interest. People are always willing to step on others to achieve their own interests. But Particio, is he truly different? Is he someone who can at last transform this dark, ugly world into something wonderful? What do you think, brother? Oh, the wall's broken. That's worrisome. 15? Welcome to my humble castle. That was how he greeted me when I arrived in Lost Seed, before he took me on a casual stroll through the rotting mausoleum of a town. I struggled not to gag on the stench of death and decay, all the while him smiling and breathing deep as if taking in the airs of a tranquil mountain meadow. This ghastly man's name is Claude, and he is the descendant of the infamous Archmage Darkest. It is said that his notorious grandfather gave him a taste of the blood of the malevolent god of darkness, Vide, frighteningly enough, while he was still in the womb. I'm like, there's so many comparisons to Sephiroth in Final Fantasy VII, it's hard not to. As a result, the man is blessed with eternal youth. With the blood of Darkest and Vide within his veins, Claude's fate was to become the Dark God's vessel, and yet he rejected this destiny and instead chose to pass that honor on to his offspring. For our part, we don't care who the vessel is, just that we have one. Claude, however, seems to have preferences in the matter. Preferences. The man sired countless children with countless women and set his progeny on each other's throats. To the bloody victor goes the ultimate spoils. I shivered as he looked me up and down, his eyes seeming to pierce my very soul. It was as if he was seeking to plant a murderous seed inside me, too. When he handed me the dark blood staff, he told me that the woman who stole it for him has a lot of potential. His words, my purpose in Lost Seed fulfilled, I hurried out of there. I can't wait to hand the staff over to Arcanette. I was like, Archette is not the right way. Arcanette, and set her handle the cathedral's sacred flame. And let her handle the cathedral's sacred flame. So this is what prompts. Oh, because the fire's out. This is what was behind the thing. Okay, so yeah, in the extra stories thing, you see that there's fire lit here. And at one point it goes out. So currently it's out, so I don't know. Yeah, interesting. Journal fragment. 16. Yeah, it's like I can read. Dear Diary, today I met with Petrichor, the woman known as the Dark Hunter. Oh! Okay, so the Dark Hunter's a woman. Petrichor. Interesting. I'd introduced her to Professor Harvey several years ago at Arcanet's request. She was talkative today and had this to say. I met Arcanet when I was young, and it was then that I swore myself to her service. Ever since, I have hunted for her and her alone, even slaying the legendary monster known as the Guardian of the First Flame at her behest. Sometimes I hunted people too, like the time I came to possess the Darkblood bow. Oh, that's the bow that Roy had. Oh. Once again, my lady has use of me, and so I shall gladly obey. I nodded along, and when she was finished, she showed me a monster. This beast, which she had captured on Totohaha, looked at me with eyes filled with loathing for all that walked on this earth. I asked her what it was, and she told me the result of years of brutal conditioning and a healthy dose of Harvey's science for good measure. The result, an abomination crafted through repeated and horrifying experiments. I nodded again. A soul that's this steeped in despair would surely prove to be a great source of power. It seems that leaving the flame of Totohaha in her care should prove no issue. So this is the merchant and the scholar statues. Journal fragments 17. I can't believe it. How did Particio turn that economic desert of a town into a hopping commercial hub? That business idea of his was inspired. I must admit that watching Alron's department store come to life woke something warm inside me. I told Particio that the world's filled with people groaning under the weight of 1,000 problems. It's fresh ideas like this that bring a ray of joy into troubled lives. For once, I really, truly meant what I said. I should never have poured my heart out in public like that. I suppose my declaration was proof that he's cracked my emotional defenses and convinced me to, gasp, believe in him. In my defense, he's really something else. Before I knew it, I was promising to help. Truth is, I'm excited to see what magic he'll pull out of his Particio hat next. Guess what, dear diary? This is the first time I've ever helped someone for something that wasn't directly related to my mission. Let me stop for a moment and also appreciate the fact that he convinced the Alron to invest 80 billion leaves in him. 80 billion. The question is, will Particio prove to be a man of integrity? Will he really use those leaves to help the world and not just to line his own pockets? Just a little bit longer. Only a bit, mind. I find myself needing to see what he does next. Okay. So. It's being night or day help. Also, little girl wasn't here, so like, what? Was she just like, look over here, go to the Felsun ruins? Maybe after I've collected them, she'll actually like talk to me. So in the morning, she's up there, and at night, she's over here. You. What does this mean? What do you mean? Okay, and she doesn't have text box above her head up there. Okay, we just got a lot of information just completely dropped on us. I'm gonna go check out over here again, and if there's anything, I will let you know. Until then, just gonna keep wandering around.